Well, hello and welcome back to our series entitled Overcoming Obstacles. We've made it up to session 6, and if this is the first time you've caught us, don't worry about it. We've got 20 sessions during this series, and each one of them really can be used independently and go back to and just pick and choose based on what solution might be best to overcome whatever obstacle you're coming up against. So you can hop back into the YouTube channel or Facebook or whatever platform you're using, maybe Anchor FM if you're doing our podcasts, and go back and catch the other sessions. We previously had done these and cut them in half, kind of did half the session here and half the session there to give you a couple of opportunities to take in the information and formulate your questions, this, that, and the other. But we've been told that people just want to go through the session, just one big session. So that's what we're going to start doing. It's what you guys want. That's what we're going to do. And so we're going to be doing each session all the way through. If you need a break, if they get too long, you can always just, pause, leave, come back and pick it up. I'll also have a timestamp out there for you as well. So you can just scroll forward to the different sections if you need to do that. Well, all right, well, let's get started. We're in session 6, so let me get out of here real quick. Today we're going to be talking about getting your creative juices flowing when you're up against the wall. Now, sometimes it's not hard to get your creative juices flowing when on just regular days, but when you're up against the wall, it gets kind of tough, and that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about nirvana. We're talking about overcoming obstacles. And so, when you've got an obstacle, right in your face, and you're up against the wall, it's kind of hard to get your creative juices flowing sometimes. Now, last week in session 5, we learned about direct solutions and how direct solutions are really the fastest path to change, success, and overcoming obstacles. So if you didn't catch that, hop back and get it. But your creativity can also find effective solutions. In this lesson, we're going to talk about tapping in to your creativity. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Now, if you hang in there with us, we've got a couple at the end of it. I got a couple of bonuses for you of ways to really, really take what we're going to be talking about today and put it into practice for yourself. So hang in there with us to the end. All right. Well, the bottom line is, are you feeling stuck? And that's really when this all starts to really make sense in using this. So, because maybe you're sitting there and your mind is just swirling and you got yeses coming through and no's, and you got nevers, you got maybes, you got some days, and you just don't know what's going on. And if you've ever tried to write anything, that's really commonly called writer's block, and we get that from time to time. Get it in trying to put these programs together. However, writers aren't the only people that encounter these mental blocks, and I know that you've had these, or you probably wouldn't be even listening to this series, but you could be feeling stuck because of a challenge, and that's usually what we're talking about: overcoming these obstacles, overcoming challenges, and all the viable solutions are just eluding you. All of a sudden, even if you've been out there and you're like, man, this just isn't like me, I can usually figure these things out pretty quick. Well, we all get stuck. So it's just we're here to help you get unstuck. So that's the whole purpose of this program. But it's time to let your creativity help you with your challenge. I've got some techniques for you. I want you to try these techniques to help release the creativity that you know is inside of you. You know it's in there. You just you've lost it. You don't know where it is. And I just love this definition of creativity. Creativity is intelligence having fun. And don't we all love to have fun, right? Well, the subconscious loves to have fun too. So we just got to figure out a way to allow it to do that. So let's look at these techniques and see how we can make it come back. Well, the first one is just really outdoor activities. Go for a run, a hike, maybe even mow your lawn. I mean, I've got way more than a lawn for those of you who have been around for a little bit. You've heard me talk about it. And it can take me, I know last Friday I spent like 7 hours just out doing different aspects of what I need to do on the property, and still didn't get it all done. But it gives me time to do something else other than my common tasks, and it allows creativity to come in. And it's amazing how many times you'll be back there. I'll be back there, and things will just come in my brain. I go, "Wow, that's pretty cool." Let me grab something and write that down or record that real quick. Because when things come to to our subconscious, they're generally only there for about 30 seconds. So you do want to be ready about what you're doing to either voice record the idea or write it down, because it may never come back again. But you likely spend too much of your time cooped up in the workplace, and you've got that your subconscious is in prison. It's in a routine. You may not see the bars, but your subconscious does, and it just knows, hey, we're not going to get anything done in here because this is just negative for me. So what you want to do is break that habit by seeking inspiration in the beautiful gifts of nature. Get up, go outside, do something. Take the afternoon off. Maybe play around the golf. I don't know what you need to do, but you got to do something. Because the secret to abolishing your creative block is to get out into the great outdoors and get your adrenaline pumping. And get it rolling. I mean, I know we've all seen the 10,000 steps thing or whatever it is, but get some fresh air, get some vitamin D. Even in the wintertime, get out and just that cool or cold weather will wake you up, whatever it is, but get out there and do something. Get that blood pumping, and just take the stressors off and of what you're normally doing, and it'll allow yourself the ability of your brain to reset. So tip number one, if you're having a mental block, creativity, just go out for a run, a hike, mow your yard, kayak, do something. Grab your bike, just to get out there and enjoy nature a little bit. Number two, freestyle. If you obstruct your creative process by being too rigid or expecting too much too soon, you'll send your creative juices into hiding indefinitely. So we got to take the pressure off. If you're sitting there and you got these deadlines, this gets back to really, I guess, when we were kids, and your parents were like, "You'd be coloring inside those lines." I mean, your kid got rewarded for the one that didn't have any edges out, any colors on the outside of the lines, and just the kids that just did perfectly inside, were just praised, right? Well, that's not always what's going to get you rolling, right? You need to freestyle sometimes. Color outside those lines and see what's happened. We call it, thinking outside the box is another analogy we got out there. But just don't obstruct the creative process. Don't make the expectations so high. And sometimes in our coaching sessions, when we look at key productive indicators and your key actions and your goals, when we realize that you are expecting too much too soon. So let's free this up a little bit, and let's freestyle for a little while and see if that can't help you out. All right, well, let's look at releasing the pressure to allow your mind to freely express itself, right? And maybe it's just painting abstract painting using colors you generally never use. Maybe that's one thing that you do. You just get out there and just have some fun with it. Or choose a topic that's close to your heart and just write the words that come to your mind without editing. Like I said, well, I don't paint. Well, you got a topic that's close to your heart, hopefully. I mean, if you've done your life purpose and got your whys and got your goals set up, just start writing about it without editing. And we did finding your why and creating your life purpose in the 5 days of you. What we talked about was just no editing. Just start writing and think it all, and then go back and review it, and you'll see that really some really cool stuff can come out of that exercise. Or maybe it's just doodle on your notepad. Sometimes just taking it, I mean, maybe if you're watching TV or something, trying to get away from it all, just have your pad handy and just write some stuff, doodle. And I tell you what, it's just amazing when you take the pressure off of what your brain, the expectations of what your brain is supposed to do. It'll come up with all this cool stuff. And again, you want to have paper around, or you have something to record it with, because sometimes inspiration only lasts about 30 seconds. And then I tell you what, it is gone forever. So be prepared to write that stuff down. All right. Seek inspiration. Now, a lot of folks are in this mindset that, oh, inspiration's from within. Well, it's in there, but it's got to come out. So, what we look at here at A to B for me, obviously, is reading about how someone you consider a hero tackled their own challenges. We put those heroes out in front of you. I know we all think that we have these unique challenges. No one's ever come up against this obstacle before. And well, no, I hate to bust your bubble, but you ain't that great. That you have this super unique challenge. It's happened before. Things History repeats itself. And so what we want to look at is folks out there that have been through the same challenges, and their methods could spark ideas for solutions to your challenges. And that's why we have deep dives to destiny. That's why we go through all those things. Why we have our deep dives in general at A to B for me. Why we have 84 days. Because it's going to uncover the fact that, hey, you ain't the only one. This has happened before, and this is how this person handled it. And why we have our coaching program is because you sit there and you think that you're the only ones that ever had it. And I'm telling you, probably the person I just talked to 15 minutes ago had a similar situation. So it doesn't matter what it is, a career, or your life, anything, your personal life, your mental, physical, emotional, all those things, just seek inspiration. Now, there's someone out there that's had a similar challenges. And they can give you some guides and spark some ideas for solutions for your own individual challenges. Number four kind of goes along with number one, change of scenery. Your office may be the cause of a creative block. You've been sitting in that chair, at same chair day after day, and it can take a toll on your ability to produce. You're just stuck in a rut, and you've got to get out. So maybe just head to a coffee shop, a park, a bookstore, for a rush of energy that's going to inspire you to create. I don't just get out, just get a different environment. I know a lot of us may work from home, and but even in home, I can get up and I can just shut it down, go outside, walk around. Of course, I got a great view from my office, but uh, even just being in the office at home is rough. So sometimes you got to get out. Maybe you just got to be around some people for a change, right? But let's head out and change that in scenery. And one thing I would recommend really too is maybe consider going to a mom and pop coffee shop instead of that same one that you've been going to, right? Like Starbucks, Panera Bread. It can get pretty noisy and distracting in there. Sometimes distraction is good if you're looking for creativity because you can kind of see what other people are doing, and this, that, and the other. But maybe just find a mom and pop, find a unique place, something that the brain is like, whoa, this is new. I guess we're going to be doing something different, right? Because what you're doing by going from the same place you always go, you're just changing replacing one routine with another, and the brain's like, nothing special about this place. This is what we do here. Well, if you go to another unique place, maybe the creativity juices will start flowing for you a little bit better. So consider that. Not putting down Starbucks or Panera Bread. I'm just saying, hey, give it a shot, see what happens. Number five, release your inhibitions. Now, I'm not talking about taking all your clothes off and running down the street here, but many times the fear of failure is the only barrier between you and success. And we talk about this in a lot of our programs. Failing Forward is one of the best books I've really ever read about failure, and we talk about it all the time. Failure is just education. It's just figuring out what didn't work. But a lot of you out there are just thinking that failure is fatal. It's over with. Well, no, it's just a barrier. And you got to get past that barrier because it's holding you back and keeping you away from your success. So let your insecurities fall by the wayside and move forward with your own ideas. Just let it go. You got to get the subconscious out of the mindset that, hey, we tried this before, it didn't work. You just got to get out and prove it wrong. Now, creative blocks, they're like pesky little summer gnats. You can put screens on your windows and you can keep a few of those gnats out in the summertime, but a few of them always find their way to break through the netting, right? I mean, they just figure out a way to get in. And so that's the same with creative blocks. You can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of different things. Try going out and running. Try going to changing your scenery. All these things. But sometimes just letting go and moving on is really the only way to get it done. And what we're talking about here is just to keep on keeping on, because in much the same way those gnats keep getting in, you have little say in when or where your mental blocks are going to appear. They just happen. The brain, we only use such a small portion of it, but I tell you what, it just comes back. It'll just shut down on you for whatever reason. So, but sometimes all you can do is just to work through it, and strengthen your skills. While you're doing it. Again, failing forward, just strengthen your skills as you get going. It's more challenging to be creative when your back's against the wall. There is no doubt about that. But in fact, just about everything's more difficult, during times of stress. But if you'll just work through it, try some of these techniques, and just keep it on and see if we can't get this thing to work out for you. Now, we do realize that when you come across situations that appear to be hopeless, that's another big obstacle. And so in the next session, what we're going to talk about is how to be effective when those things appear to be hopeless. And the key words here are appear to be, because I'm telling you, it's not hopeless. It just appears that way. And so we got to get the subconscious mind on board with the conscious mind that, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what we want to do. And this isn't hopeless. We just got, we just got to figure out a way to get it done. But before we get to all that next week, let's talk about our to-dos for this week. And here's what you need to do today. I'm going to take a quick sip of water because I got a little thing going on here. Here we go. All right, well, do something creative and out of the ordinary today. So let's expand your horizons here, what you're doing. Maybe it's write a short story or compose a song or draw a picture or paint something. I don't know what it is, but something you're just not used to doing. And what it's going to do is it's going to get the mind a little bit confused, because it's like, wait, but we have this pressing thing over here, and now we're over here doodling or drawing a picture or writing a song. What the heck's that all about? Then expose yourself to something new and artistic. I mean, you might think about a new genre of music or go to a local art show, but just do something that will really help reset the brain and get your creative juices flowing. It's amazing where inspiration comes from. Just when you're out there, you might see some people, you might see some things, but all of a sudden all the dots start connecting. So just get out there and do something creative and out of the ordinary today or sometime this week. Let's get this thing done. All right. Well, the bottom line is you got to get in the habit of using creative outlets on a regular basis. Any change in your life, you've got to get that habit rolling. So be sure that you get in your habit tracker. Maybe you schedule these things. Maybe you schedule on a regular basis the fact that you're going to go out and spend a half a day for reset. Find a time in your week when you can do that. It's probably, a lot of times it's past midweek, when you've already kind of do everything you need to do, and you're trying to finish something up, and all of a sudden you get this block. So just schedule it some time, and realize that you need to get out and do this on a regular basis and free yourself up. Then when you really need your creativity to help you, it'll be ready and waiting. So it'll be there, and we'll know, hey, it's time. Let's roll. Let's do this. I've got this great idea coming up. And what you're doing is you're just retraining the brain. You're saying, hey, we realize we get to these roadblocks, and when we do, this is what we do. And when we do this, great things happen. So again, let the mind have some fun. And that's what creativity does. So get in the habit of these things. Again, put in your habit tracker, get in your journal, get it scheduled for yourself, so that it's just another regular exercise that you do for yourself, and get it in shape, and it'll start working for you. All right. Well, I told you we had a couple of neat things going that are a little bit different for this session, and we're going to be talking about a couple of affirmations for you for this week. And the two that we're going to be doing, first one is challenges spark my imagination. And I'm going to read through these things. If you're in the A to B for Me community, you can go up to the resources tab, and these are in there for you under session 6. But if you're not, you can come back and grab these. Feel free to maybe take your smartphone, just take a picture of them, and then rewrite them for you if you need to. But until then, just cheat and just use these and get the brain working. Now, if you're not familiar with affirmations, you want to not only read them, but you want to record them. Because you want the auditory part in there too. And you really want to run through these in the morning and in the evening before you go to bed and get them to where the subconscious really has time to absorb this information. Well, challenges inspire me to work smarter. Hardship tests my abilities and encourage me to become more creative. When I run into obstacles, I keep a positive attitude. I enjoy taking a fresh look at my life and searching for original solutions. The rewards that I work for are more satisfying than easy victories. I stay calm when I run into complications. I pause to collect my thoughts and evaluate the situation. I examine issues from a different perspective in order to generate new options. I reach out to others. Collaborating with family, friends, and colleagues expands my resources. We listen to each other respectfully and come up with the new ideas. Combining our brain power helps me to be more innovative and productive, and I find encouragement and support. I start out small. Automating one database task may lead me to look for other ways to use technology to speed up routine office work. I take risks. Sometimes it takes courage to approach a challenge in a new way. I may need to go against the crowd or overcome my own resistance. Even if I make a misstep, I remind myself that I am learning and growing. Today, I greet challenges with a smile. I know that struggling for success makes me stronger and wiser, and my creativity guides me to new heights. So this is one that, again, that you just might want to do. Again, I typically do affirmations in the morning. I do them in the evening, maybe midday. You need to do it. But anytime you need to get your imagination sparked, read this one and get it in, really get the brain on the right track here. And here's some self-reflection questions for this one. What can I learn from one challenge that I responded to creatively? So think about that. Put that down and start getting your answers compiled for that. And then what conditions help me to use my imagination? And how can I train myself to think creatively? So maybe go back and look at some of the things we talked about in today's lesson and see what you could utilize. But take some time. Maybe this is in your Sunday reflection before you plan your week. Maybe just in the evening before you go to bed. But what can I learn from one challenge that I responded to creatively? And what conditions help me to use my imagination? And how can I train myself to think creatively? So there's one for you. The other one is I find unique ideas to solve challenges. I'm able to reframe my challenge and find a unique way to solve it. I have creative ideas that help me overcome my situation. My innovative solutions are an essential part of my creative mind. I am resourceful and can clarify my issues with ease. I use my brainstorming sessions to find potential solutions to my challenges and incorporate them into my plans. I focus on individual parts of a challenge to make the process easier. I find solutions to each part and add them together. This creates a beautiful whole that resolves the issue. I evaluate my solutions to pick the best one for each challenge. I'm able to differentiate between the various possibilities. I select a solution that completely solves the challenge. I use research and others around me as inspiration for my unique ideas. My friends, family, and coworkers help me find solutions faster. They help me see the suggestions that can strengthen my action plan. My plan has specific steps for idea implementation, is a crucial part of my creative process, and helps me solve challenges. I apply the plan in pieces and examine each step, and I focus on the relevant aspects of the plan that help me achieve my goals. Today, I use my creativity and strength to find ideas that help me triumph over challenges. Again, affirmations are all about retraining the brain. So maybe some of these things are like that's not me. Well, it's not you yet. If these are the things that you want in your life, you have to affirm them. And what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And so that's what we're talking about with affirmations. So again, if you want to rewrite these for yourself, rewrite them, make a word here, a word there, or just cheat and use these as your own until you can get those down. But absolutely, if you're having a problem with creativity in your life, utilize these. Here's some self-reflection questions for this one. How can I use my creativity to solve challenges in my life? How can I help others find their own unique ideas to solve issues? So maybe if you're in a team situation or just need to satisfy your legacy here and help others, that's what being successful is all about, really, helping other people. Maybe you want to help some other people find their own unique ideas to solve issues. And then what can I do to simplify the process to find solutions? So consider these three reflections as well as you look at this affirmation. And again, if you need a copy of these, you can reach out to me if you're not part of the group. But you can just go back, take pictures of these and write them for yourself if you want to do it that way. But I'm happy to send you the PDF. Just reach out to me and we'll do that for you. And how do you do that? Well, a2bforme.com. You'll hop up there, give us a shout. I want to thank you for attending, and I want you to have an awesome week. If you want to schedule a one-on-one strategy session, I do those complimentary for you. Just go to a2bforme.info/15 with Don, and we can certainly get that rolling for you. There's going to be 4 questions that you're going to get as you make that appointment. So be sure that you have plenty of time to review those questions before our session, because we want to make sure that we have everything done in a very efficient manner. And again, if you want some of these PDFs, just reach out to me at don@a2bforme.com. You can also check out and I advise that you check out the YouTube channel and subscribe to that so you don't miss any of the things that are coming up. Listen to us on Anchor FM. If you like podcasts, if you're on the road a lot in the car, you can listen to the programs on Anchor FM. So check out our A2B for Me channel up there, or of course Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're out there for you all the time with great information for you and good stuff for you to take advantage of. Well, all right. Well, I'm going to hop back in here real quick and say goodbye to you. I can get my mouse to work here. So let's pop back in and say goodbye to you. But again, have a great week and absolutely keep moving in the direction of your dreams.